Hey everybody. I'm going to talk about what it's been like this time I've been sober, and again, it's been 13 years. Coming back and getting sober this time, I did not have a pink cloud. My life was burning down is what it felt like, and I got into the rooms and people were suggesting to me to paint the fence, which was do the steps. And my first year absolutely kicked my butt. It was really, really hard. Again, I had no money. I was borrowing money. In fact, after I hit 1 year sober, Capital One sued me twice for inability to pay the bills. I did what was called charge off with other credit cards because I had to max out because I wasn't able to pay the bills for basic necessities. And for example, there are other credit institutions out there where I might have owed $5,000 and I negotiated down to $2,500 that I could pay. But it definitely left a mark on my credit score where ultimately I got down to 500. It was really bad. All the financial things that were going on, and it just was. But again, my first year was really tough. My solutions, because it was both drugs and alcohol, and I was left with all of my problems. But when I was talking to folks, they had hope, and I didn't think it would work for me, but I believed that they believed. Also, what was really helpful, the group I got sober in had what was called old timers, people that had been sober since the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, and they were still going to meetings. So that left an impression that if they were still going to meetings and they sounded like Buddha, I absolutely wanted what they had, that I would need to stick around this time. In my first year, I did do the steps. People are challenged at time with the 4th step, which is when you do an inventory, and ultimately the 5th step when you talk about it with somebody. And I wanted to be rigorously honest and thorough because I didn't want to drink again. That when I was writing everything down, doing my inventory, I had an open rule with my parents who I was living with because I couldn't afford my own living accommodations, that they could drug test me at any time. You can tell when I was drunk, but you couldn't always tell when I was on drugs because the hydrocodone, I felt great, but nobody could tell that I was on something. They drug tested me twice in 10 days. I was acting that batshit crazy with how much putting my inventory down was disturbing me. There were so many shameful things, I wasn't embarrassed. I felt shame that I am a bad person. And it was really difficult also when it comes to still having what was now not yet a 3-year-old and working full-time, momming full-time. There were things that I needed to do for career development, like certifications, and many days the best I could do was just not to drink. I was eating a lot of sugar my first year. Now, sugar also will give you a dopamine hit where I gained 70 pounds my first year of sobriety. I would eat a box of donuts or an entire pan of brownies my first year. And I remember this moment after doing the work my first year and getting through all 12 steps. And again, I'm not here to debate AA, whatever works for you. If you're in recovery, I support 1000%. I was talking to my sponsor on the phone, and I was in my car and I was about to make a left-hand turn to go home. And I was sitting there talking to her, and I remember having this moment of, I don't feel stressed out, anxious, and worried. And following that nearly immediately was, I must be forgetting about something. And that was the first time, now they were incremental and very small at the very beginning, that I felt peace. The peace that I found at the bottom of a bottle, at the bottom of a prescription bottle or liquor, I was actually feeling where I wasn't numbing out. And it really surprised me because I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think coming back into the program, my thought was that you were going to teach me how to white knuckle it, not knowing the fruits it would bear by doing the work. So again, if I can, you can too. And keep going. I have hope for you. Don't ever give up hope. And thank you.